Hi, Gary Leonard here, wishing you a Merry Christmas. Tonight we're going to talk about obsession versus compulsion and how obsession may help you. But first I want to give a huge thank you or shout out to Mr. Bill Pearl. He posted basically a question. There's a couple of photos from, I believe, the 1980 Mr. America, the morning after, and said, Gary Leonard was a Mr. America 1980, and nothing really has been told about him. And he posted this on his Facebook page, and there was some great responses. And I want to say thank you to Bill, and thank you to everybody else out there. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about obsession. And first of all, I think you need to define what obsession is. I've looked. You can basically look up the word obsession and find a dictionary definition that's whatever you really understand obsession to be. And compulsion. Compulsion and obsession are slightly different in that a compulsion is something that you really don't have control over. Even though you know you shouldn't do it, you end up having to do it. It's drinking can be a compulsion. Not all alcoholics are physically addicted or physiologically addicted to alcohol. Many of them are just obsessive drinkers, and I have some experience with that. Just so you know, little full disclosure here. I am also very obsessive. Obsessiveness runs in my family, you might say. My oldest brother is actually kind of a globally known physiologist. He deals with biochemistry at the molecular level, and is working on some amazing things that may come out soon and help a lot of people. My next older brother, Tom, he's my next door neighbor here in Idaho. He was a great high hurdler in high school, a state level champion in California, and that's pretty big in California especially. In the 120 highs, he was a sub 14 second runner, so that's really a fast guy. And back then, that was in like the late 60s, so he was really good at that. After he got out of high school, he did some different things, and then he ended up getting a sailboat, and within a year or two, he won the national championships like 7 times in a row. And then he decided to sell the sailboat and got into archery. He bought an archery shop and became very highly competitive at the national level with archery. So he's an obsessive. My brother Scott was just very successful at everything he did, and part of that's his obsession. With me, I've obsessed over a lot of things in my life. Right now, I'm trying to obsess over balance. I've got a grandchild, another one on the way. I really feel good about where I am. Early on in some of the earlier videos, I was really talking to people about how to get into training, how to do a lifestyle change, get healthier. And obsessing over good health is not that bad. And understand the difference between an obsession and a compulsion is an obsession is something, it's an idea that you just can't get out of your head, which is okay. And you can act on that idea. It's when you do it unwillingly. So you can channel obsessions. With my obsessive behavior, I went from bodybuilding into kind of computers, and I'm a terrible computer geek. I mean, you may not know what the quality of the videos that I put out and everything, but I'm a geeky computer guy. I run multiple operating systems and all that stuff. And then from there, I got into business, and computer and business went real well together. And then now at this point in my life, I'm obsessing over balance. I try and switch my obsessions from here to there. I don't have one single obsession. I've got a whole plethora of them, and I just kind of, when I'm focused on one thing, like a typical male, it's like, don't bother me. I'm obsessing. Let me obsess over this for a while, and then I'll switch to something else. So again, balance right now. I try and balance my physical life, my mental life, my spiritual life, and my family life, all balanced out there. So again, trying to help people have a lifestyle change. Just about everybody I've met in my life has an obsession. A lot of them don't realize it. It's still not a compulsion, but it's something they really like to do. And some people that have weight problems, they don't realize it, but and this might be a compulsion, but it has to do with food. And if they need to obsess over something, they'll obsess over food. They start planning all of their meals out way in advance. They start thinking about what they're going to do. Or some other people, video games, and they're just obsessed with video games. They don't do anything else but video games in their job. They'll go to their job, come home, and play video games. I know people like that are very close, actually, and I won't mention a name. But try and figure out what your obsession is, and then switch it. Switch it into something that's more of a healthy pursuit. I obsess over skiing. I love skiing and snow skiing, and I've done it, since I was 5 years old. So that's 58 years now. I've been snow skiing. I started literally in 1960 was my first season, and kind of ever since then I've just been skiing. So channel those obsessions into a positive endeavor. If it's something, when I say positive endeavor, something physical, or at least a piece of your obsessive behavior. And you can do it. You just have to find out what that switch is, what that handle is that you need to flip or pull, whatever it is, to get you into that. Now, we've had some people we've talked to. Patrick Murphy, he talked a little bit about kind of a challenge, and he goes, well, you can do it, I can do it. And then he ended up winning this contest, and he's kept it off since then, and he's stayed fit. And now his motivation is his grandkids. My motivation is, it's not about longevity either. I know I could go tomorrow, and, and it wouldn't, I'd be surprised, of course, it's always going to be a surprise when you go. It's not about longevity. It's about quality of life. And this is what I want to try and help people find. Is find a quality of life. Now, this past week I've taken the entire week off from working out because everything hurts. Right now my elbows hurt, my shoulders hurt, my back hurts, my neck hurts, my knees hurt. I had knee surgery on my right knee and arthroscope, and it's not any better than it was before the surgery. My arches in my feet hurt sometimes. So, I'm just taking a week off, and then I'm going to kind of reset my workout back to when I was 55 years old, 8 years ago, and start there like when I moved up here and I started a specific workout. It was really, really good. And I balanced it with aerobics. So I think I'm going to try and, my wife and I are going to start working on aerobics in the morning, like 2 days a week. So we'll do our weights 3 days a week, and we'll do aerobics twice a week. And it's like a step class. Kind of there's some dance and some great movements, but it's not just weights. It's more physical, and it's not running, because running, I think with me particularly, being repetitive can cause an injury. So, these are some of the things I'm going to obsess over. But again, it goes back to quality of life. Being able to enjoy your life. And many people don't know what it's like to be healthy. They don't know how good it feels. And they don't know how bad they feel now until they felt good. So some people are going to say, well, why should I do that when I feel fine right now? Well, I guarantee you can feel better. I promise you can feel better. You can alleviate diabetes. If you have a type 2 diabetes and you're heavy, I have many people I've talked to that have lost weight and become fit. Not fanatically, not competitive bodybuilders, and they've become fit, and their blood pressure has dropped. A friend of mine named George, super compliments. At one point he was 250 pounds. I didn't notice it because he hit it well. But he was coming up with, he had type 2 diabetes, he had high blood pressure, he had family members. His father had died when he was rather young, when his father was young, and George has kind of beat that system. And I have talked to him in quite a while, but the last time I did, he was just as happy as it could be. So we talked a little bit about obsession, and I encourage you all to take a look at how you live. Kind of do a reassess and see if you want to get better. See if you want to get healthier. And if you do, there's help out there.